siku ya leo itakuwa ni siku ambapo tunaangazia mashinani kule, tukizungumza na baadhi ya wanahabari wetu ambao wako maeneo yale na kupata sauti za wananchi wanasemaje maeneo hayo. Mimi naitwa Nicholas Wambua, naomba tuandamane kuanzia sasa hadi tamati. Mtazamaji, wahudumu wa afya katika kaunti ya Mombasa wameendelea kushikilia msimamo wao wa kuendelea na mgomo hadi matakwa yao yatimizwe na serikali. Wiki iliyopita serikali ya kaunti ya Mombasa ilitangaza kuwafuta kazi madaktari waliokuwa katika mgomo. Wauguzi hao wamekuwa wakizungumza na waandishi wa habari muda mfupi uliopita.
Our members have been out of work. Now we are entering week 9 and they have not been able to address the issue of the statutory deductions. Also, the employer has resorted to threats and intimidations by even calling our members who are on leave to come back to work, and the sacking of the medical officers, 86 of them, who were sacked last week. This is our position as health workers unions, that we shall not bow to intimidation and the ways that the employer has now decided to use the unorthodox means of handling this issue is not welcome. And therefore we want to say that the doctors who have been sacked, we demand that they are reinstated to work so that this issue can be addressed amicably to ensure that services resume in this county. On the issue of politics that are being played by the COG by refusing to sign the return to work formulas that the nurses, the clinical officers and the KMPDU have worked out through the multi-agency committee, we want to ask the COG to take responsibility and let them understand the current citizen or the normal mwananchi is suffering right now. Services have been disrupted all over Kenya, and this is the time that they offer leadership and do away with the cheap politics where they want to frustrate the healthcare workers. Further, we want to state very categorically that the intimidations, the dismissal letters that have been issued to our colleagues in Kisii County, we want to say that we as health workers unions, we shall not bow to those intimidations. And we want to ask all the 47 employers and the national government to be guided by law, because that is a provision in the Constitution. That in the Constitution, all state organs and officers shall be bound by the law. And therefore, let them not go ahead, try to intimidate people, issuing dismissal letters to people, which is against the law. This matter is before court, and they should wait for the court to pronounce themselves on this matter. It is not fair, and we don't welcome all those unlawful measures they have taken against our members. And lastly, I want to say this, that as healthcare workers in Mombasa County, we are very sad that the employer and the governor himself have not taken charge and responsibility over this issue. So the citizens of this country want to urge you, can you ask your political leaders in this country whom you elected to take responsibility and give you answers as to why in Mombasa County we have not been able to have healthcare services for the last over 70 days. That is all I want to say. I welcome my brother here from the Nurses Union.
Yeah, my name is Peter Morocco, the branch secretary, Kenya National Union of Nurses. It's very ridiculous, as my colleague has said, that for the employer, especially in Mombasa and the Kisii County, to sack somebody who has sat in class for 6 good years in a sitting, in a meeting that did not even deliberate on the pertinent issues that are affecting health workers in Mombasa. It doesn't really add up for Mombasa County to dismiss doctors who have been who they have employed and have been trained by the same government for close to 6 to even up to 12 years, those who are specialized. So we are really astonished by the measures the county government is currently taking, instead of addressing the issues as they are, by holding the horn by its horn, the bull by its horns, so that they address the issues we have. We have actually very simple things that we've raised with the county government of Mombasa. Pay the remittances, and that is all. And call us for a negotiation, then we return back to work. But the measures you are taking are really unorthodox as it is, and we don't think that we will bow to your pressure. We will not bow to your pressure. We've engaged you for so long, since June last year, up to today. You know your weakness. You know what you have not been able to do. Take it up. The governor needs to come in. You cannot keep quiet for close to 2 months. The citizens of this country are suffering. They are not getting health services. People are dying in the villages. And the governor is so silent on this matter, and we know he can pile up pressure on this national government to release the funds they are talking about. 3 months in disbursement, which the national government has not really sent to the counties, is worth enough for them to even come and join us here so that we can push this agenda forward as collectively as employer and the employees. Another thing, nationally, I believe the Council of Governors is actually letting us down. What does it take to compensate an employee who has died on duty? We are asking the national government and the Council of Governors to ensure that our colleagues who have succumbed, their families get compensated. That is it. And the risk allowance is worth for us to motivate us to go back to work. But when you are taking politics in place of performance of towards the employees you are employed, it really makes us think that we made the wrong decision to elect you into office. And it's right time that the Kenyans think of this Council of Governors generally and do away with them come 2022 so that we can elect people who think well with about the citizens and the employees they have employed. We shall all be in solidarity until these issues are addressed. We are not going to let it go. We shall hold it strong until, even if it means 5 months like we did it in 2017, we shall. And we are ready to go. Even if you stop our salaries, even if you issue us dismissal letters, we shall address them. And you know what we can do. As unions, we have taken all measures necessary. Because you cannot fail on your way of doing things and then you want to force us to go back to work. It's really very painful, especially here in Mombasa, for the issues we have been trying to address for 6 months, and yet we are here. This is 2021. The employer cannot take any good action. Instead, you are calling people back to work. It doesn't add up. So we are calling upon the Department of Health and the Chief Officer, the Public Health, please stop issuing people with letters to demand that they report back to work. Anybody, even if somebody is on leave, let you know it from today that we are all on strike, because the issues affecting us here affect all those who are on leave and who are not on duty at this time. And therefore, the only duty we demand our members to report to is to report under this tree until the county government to Mombasa addresses our issues.
We want to announce ourselves on the issue of BBI as healthcare workers unions in Mombasa County. We want to be very categorical that we as healthcare workers unions, we are left with no option other than rallying our members, rallying our families and friends, and those public members who believe in us as leaders, that we shall ensure that this BBI thing, then it has no other chance to live other than dying. And therefore, because they have not been able to handle our issues, despite all the push, what is the guarantee that when the resources are added to the counties, they will be able to address the healthcare services? They will be able to address the issues of the healthcare workers and the public. We have noted even from the 15%, there is no accountability from the government, the county government. Therefore, we shall rally our members. If these issues are not addressed, we shall rally our members in Mombasa County. To be specific, all the healthcare workers that are working under the government and those in the private to go and vote against the BBI, because it is very clear that the government and even the now opposition, which is also in the government, are not keen to address the issues affecting the common wananchi. Thank you so much.
Wananchi power! Wananchi power! Wananchi power!
Now this is the 9th week, as our colleagues have said. We have not been addressed. If this was a tender in the Ministry of Health, it could have been addressed so long. But right now we have been here for the 9th week. Our members' matters are becoming worse. Most of our members have been listed on CRB. We are not going back to work. All these intimidations from our employer, we welcome them. We shall be coming to report under this tree until all the issues are being addressed. It's so funny that our government has always been claiming they are broke. But you can pay billions of money for tea. You are broke. You can build a kilometer of road with 1 billion shillings. You are broke. You can increase the number of senators in this country. You are broke, but you can buy a mask that we are buying in the street for 10 shillings at 750 shillings, and you are broke. This is the time to address our issue. Health workers have a choice to make. Wherever health workers are right now, we have an issue here. We have to choose between a job and life. We have chosen a job for so long. Right now, we are choosing life. We have members who have succumbed to COVID, their relatives are suffering, their children are suffering, they cannot go back to school. Some of our members have succumbed without their salaries, remittances are not being done. We have a choice that we have made right now. We welcome all those implementation, but we are not going to go back to work without a solution. And we also call upon other organizations, human rights. People here in Mombasa are suffering. We are also suffering because we also need these services. Therefore, as a representative of the laboratory department, we are going to even review all these things. Even if it means we are going to stop the COVID testing, collecting of samples in this country, we are going to do it. Because our colleagues are doing that work, and when it comes to matters of hospital bills, we are solving them through WhatsApp. We are the people to make contribution. No more of this. We have said no more and no more. If it is intimidation, sacking, spot checking, we call upon you to continue doing them, but we are not going to bow down. Thank you.
Na mtazamaji, tukiachana na hayo na tutoke pwani ya Kenya, sasa hivi tuangazie taarifa nyingine.